coming up next
born and
on the
raised in
Inherited
Jamaica
Podcast.
until I was like 13. I grew up in St. Anne's, Jamaica. It's very country. I was very poor, very poor. I grew up on a farm. One of the things that I promised myself coming here was that I wouldn't give my mom trouble. And me and my brother like kind of promised each other like, yo, we're gonna do this thing, you know what I mean? We're not gonna give our mom trouble. So I never really got involved in like anything other than sports. Me and my brother, never on anything with sport. I think we live in a society now today where it's like people want something for nothing. People want, oh, what can I get? What can I get? Well, what are you willing to give up? Because you're gonna have to give up something to achieve it. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of discipline. I think it starts at discipline. Once you see a bodybuilder, you see discipline. You see anybody in the gym working out, it takes discipline. Like somebody that's serious about it. The instructor had me like take off a little bit, right? And you know, you pull back on the yoke or whatever, and it took off, but then it kind of like banked left a little bit, and I let go of it. I was like, yo, oh man. I was like, yo, and he took control of it. So it is scary. Like first takeoff was scary, and then once I was going through the school a little bit more, you just got more comfortable and.
Building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man. Building a legacy, so watch how you step to me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chillin', man.
Yo, what's good? It's Sir Gates. You're now tuned to the Inherited Podcast. Once again, thank y'all for coming back week after week. Make sure y'all go to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and go to Instagram. Go to the podcast page at Inherited Podcast. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Sir Gates BC. And today we're gonna have a good episode. So we got a guest today, right? This is a long time friend, man. You know, back in the day, he's of course I can't consider him my OG because he's older than me, right? But my boy Damion Ricketts, man. We go back way back, man. He's a professional bodybuilder, aviation student, and also a personal trainer, right? So we're gonna get right into this episode and get this thing going. So how you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Nah, for sure, man.
It.
Like I said, it's been a long time coming, man.
It has been. I'm happy to be here, brother. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, dog.
It's been a while, but everything happens when it's supposed to.
Yeah, man. Like I say, God time and God's feet, man. No pressure, man. So it's a blessing you came. I'm glad you made it here safe. So to pop it off, right? Like what I usually do is do an icebreaker, and the icebreaker is pretty much geared towards the brand, inherited brand, dealing with legacy and inheritance, right? So the question I'm gonna ask you, you'll answer it first, and I'm gonna answer it second, but we both gonna get our chance at tackling this question, right? So the question for today is, what's the most significant change you've made in pursuit of personal growth on a path you've chosen? You say good one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Getting my aviation degree. I think that's the biggest step right now. It was something that was scary. It was scary for me, and I finally just woke up and like, yeah, let's do it. You know,
scared because of the process, or you probably not scared of heights if you want to fly.
Not
plane.
the heights.
Yeah.
No. I'm not scared of heights. Everybody's scared of heights. I'm scared of heights, but not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not to where it's like
you won't be
debilitating. Where I can't do something. I think. Have you ever seen it inside of a cockpit?
Or just like on like photos,
walk by
not like
and like
oh
make
yeah,
a little,
okay, so
and then look
when you get on a plane,
ever seen all them buttons?
Yeah.
That shit don't intimidate you?
Nah, yeah, it can.
Right.
It's like 1,000,001. He got something here and up here.
So that's what intimidated me, man. Until I started actually went to the school, got in a plane, and then realized, hey, man, I could do it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dedication right there, man.
Yeah.
So for myself, I would say the most significant change for me for my personal growth was like a few years back. Of course, I got a background in music, so but just canceling out like listening to music and replacing it with like a podcast and audiobooks.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because I still love my music, don't get me wrong, but it was just like I seen myself where if I want to go here or go there, that time, like I spent a lot of time in the car, whether it's going to pick up inventory for clothing, this and that. I'm like, instead of listening to music, it's not allowing me to grow at all. It's just entertainment. Why not put in a podcast? It's gonna elevate my mind. Why not listen to ebooks? Getting into reading. I never was the biggest reader.
Right.
So once I started seeing like, damn, I drive so much and I put on the ebook and I finish that book within like 2 or 3 days, I'm like, I can do that instead of sitting down, getting distracted, trying to read. But so I say like canceling out music and all the rest of the entertainment in my free time and replacing it with personal growth tactics and things like that. So that kind of helped me elevate a lot faster than what I probably would have done in the first place. So yeah, that'd be mine, man.
Yeah, see, your answer is better than mine.
Nah, it's
I gotta rethink mine.
aviation is big though. I mean, like I said, it's intimidating.
But that's good though, for real. Like I think we don't realize how much time we spent driving. That would actually finish a book in no time.
Telling you, man.
Like audiobooks, man. If you go on YouTube, audiobooks is like what, 6 hours, maybe 4 hours sometimes, 6 hours. I mean, you're in your car 30 minutes a day.
Don't let it be no
30
traffic.
minutes there, 30 minutes back, 45 minutes. Before you know it, a week you finish with like two books already, you know?
Yeah. So it blew my mind.
But I do the same thing, man. That was a good one.
So yeah, man. So that's a good way to pop it off, right? So like I tell people as well, with this platform, I want to bring as much value as possible. So and with that, your past, whatever you've been through, your wins, your losses, all that kind of shaped your mindset to get to where you are today and to do the things you want to do today, right? So if you can just and wait, that's what I wanted. So let me run it back. IFBB Pro. Let me put that in front of that bodybuilder situation.
Nah, that's cool. I'm humbled by it.
Yeah, man. You got some stories with that one.
Right.
So yeah, so just take us back to young Damion, right? Like where you grew up, family, childhood, school, just those experiences you had. Like, so kind of like what kind of shaped you as a young man, whether it was, you know, maybe it could be some traumas, those wins and losses. So just take us back as far as you can and just tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'll be quick about it. I won't be too long. But
no, take your time, man.
So I was born and raised in Jamaica until I was like 13. I grew up in St. Anne's, Jamaica. It's very country. I was very poor, very poor. I grew up on a farm, so I used to raise animals. I used to have to wake up when I was like 6 years old, I had to wake up 6 in the morning and then go help my cousin milk the cow and then take the milk to boil it, skim the milk, drink the milk before, you know, that was my childhood. And then walk 4 miles to school as a 6, 7-year-old, man. And we used to catch, like, we don't have in America, you guys have buses that come pick you up at your doorstep. Yeah. As kids in Jamaica, we don't have none of that, you know? So you have to like walk to school or make your way to school 4 or 5 miles. And as a little kid, that takes an hour of walking, you know, in windy roads, and it's very dangerous. So that's how I grew up. Or somebody will stop, you'll put your hand out, and then trucks will stop, and all the kids pile up on these trucks. Like the dump trucks, we pile up in the back of the dump trucks and catch them to school.
The kids are out of school?
Yeah, and back home and stuff. So that's how I grew up. My mom, shout out to her, she's a warrior, man. So she wanted a better life for me and my brother. I have a little brother, Damar. You know Damar.
Shout out to you, Damar. Exactly, you got to come on too, dog.
For sure. So she wanted a better life for us. So she got her visa, came to America and started working, you know, start cleaning hotels and things and saved them enough money and bought a house enough to bring me and my brother here. And then when she finally was able to bring us here, which takes a long time, the visa process for, you know, to bringing kids and bringing family here takes a while. So I lived there in Jamaica without my mom about 6 years.
Dang, I know that.
Yeah. She'll come back every year to visit, bring us stuff, which is cool. To us, it's normal. You know, I maybe to American kids, it might be a little bit different, but to like migrant kids that have parents here in the States that leave their kids there, it's normal to us to see our family, like our mom or parents, like once a year. So once a year, we'll see her for Christmas for like 6, 7 years. And then she was finally able to bring us here. So that's it. So I came here for 8th grade, end of 8th grade. I came here for 8th grade. And then for 9th grade, Damar was young too. He was a kid. I was young too, and I came here for 8th grade in Pittsburgh. People was wondering like, what are you doing in Pittsburgh? How you come from Jamaica to Pittsburgh? Right. How you come from Jamaica to Pittsburgh? Right. Oh yeah, Steelers fan all day. And went through high school in Pittsburgh, like Peabody High School. Played sports. I was very active. One of the things that I promised myself coming here was that I wouldn't give my mom trouble. And me and my brother like kind of promised each other like, yo, you're going to do this thing, you know what I mean? We're not going to give our mom trouble. So I never really got involved in like anything other than sports. Me and Damar, me and my brother, never on anything with sports. Soccer, I wrestled and played soccer. Soccer season, I played soccer all season. And then wrestling season, I wrestled all wrestling season. And then I just went to school and back, man. Like my high school, I wasn't the kid in high school that having fun and going out. I had none of that, man. Because I had to take care of my brother and sister. You know, I had to take care of them because my mom was working so many jobs. You know, she was going to school at the same time, and she was working like 3 jobs at the same time. So when she was away, I was taking care of my brothers and my sisters and things. And then senior year, I decided I had to make a move. You know, what am I going to do after high school? So the military kind of presented itself because I wanted to go to aviation school out of high school. But when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, $120,000, $140,000 just to go to school to be a pilot. It's like, whoa. As a 17-year-old, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, she could do it. She's like, you know, you sure, you know, we could do it or whatever. But I didn't want to put that much pressure on her. So the military kind of presented itself. And I like a challenge, man. I don't like nothing to, I like going after something that I know, like when I accomplish it, I'm gonna feel accomplished.
Yeah.
So I decided on the Marine Corps. So, you know what I mean?
Shouts out to the
Shout out to the Marine Corps. Yeah, so I decided on the Marine Corps because, you know, I think that it fits my personality a little bit better. Shout out to all the services, everybody. I recommend it for anyone.
Yeah.
Any kids young that wants to that confused about going to college or going to the military, go to the military.
Facts.
Go to the military right off top, knock out 4 years, and then you could decide, okay, after that, if you want to stay in or if you want to go out and pursue college. Because then it's free.
Yes.
Then you're not stuck in debt. You serve your country, you put your time in, and you reap some benefits on the tail end of it. You know, it's the best decision I've made in my life. So I made a decision going to Marines at 17 years old. I talked my mom into it. She had to sign the paper reluctantly, but
she didn't want you to go.
Nah,
initially?
she didn't want to. Nah, she didn't want to. But she knew I could handle it. You know.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to. She kind of wanted me to, go to college. But I already knew school was expensive, and especially for what I wanted to do. So I decided on Marines because I figured the Marine Corps would pay for my education and pay for my school and everything. And then once I decided to join the Marine Corps, and I got in the Marine Corps, it just fits my personality. So I just kind of stayed in as long as I possibly can. You know what I mean?
How long you in the
17 years.
17?
Yeah, man.
Ooh, that's stretched out.
Yeah, it's a
better than
stretch. It's a stretch, huh?
No, you said you made it way longer than I did.
Yeah, how long was you in there?
I was only there like 2.5 years.
Yeah, that's right. You wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to the Army though.
Yeah, quick little stint in and out.
How long was you in there for?
Like 2 years.
2 years? Okay, all right. Yeah,
but
man.
you know, that ended up being great.
For sure. I think that's one of the things that we have to, especially in our community, that we have to encourage. Encourage our these kids, man. Encourage these kids that the military is absolutely beneficial for your future.
And just not to cut you off, but
no, it's cool.
I agree with the same thing as one, and just let you know, you were one of my inspirations to go into the service.
Okay,
I think out of you,
I remember you reaching out to me trying to. You was asking me questions about it.
You were one of the first ones. I had like a cousin who had.
And I told you to go get it, man.
Yep,
yeah,
you did, bro.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, because I didn't when I was in school going to MLK, and so it was like school. Of course, I passed it because it was like your parents like graduate, So I did what I had to do, but after that, I really didn't even want to go to college, but that was just the structure of the household. Go to school, graduate, go to college, get a job, retire, But it was just, I did go to college, but it just wasn't working out. But like you said, when I went to the military, I sometimes say it was the best, worst decision. It's because something so we had to go through in there was just like, wow. Because where I was at in Oklahoma in Fort Sill, it was a lot of politics I had to deal with while I was in there. But what I learned and what I experienced in there, I wasn't traded for nothing.
Right.
And I also agree with all these kids. I think it should be mandatory, at least if they had a program when you graduate, do 1 year in the service at least, because you're gonna learn so much structure, the discipline, just how to be a man, and two for females as well, to be a structured strong woman. So that was like I say one of the best decisions I made, and I can say I agree with you that everybody should kind of at least experience if they got a chance to do it, especially if you're confused out here.
Right.
That's the easiest choice you can make. You're gonna have somewhere to live. Right. You're getting paid. You're getting trained for a career. And once you come out, all those benefits, where else can you get that?
Nowhere.
You can't get it nowhere else. Nowhere else, man. So
name me somewhere that's gonna pay 100% of your school for you
and pay you while you're in school
and pay you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and cover your all your medical,
Yes.
all your dental,
Yes.
everything.
Get married now there upon
Get
it's like
married, you get BAH, so you get housing. They provide a place to stay if you have a family. If you decide to get married, then they provide you a place to stay or provide you the funding so you can provide something for your family to stay. Literally nowhere could compete with it. Absolutely nowhere. I can't think of it. Yes, there's no such thing as something for nothing though.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact.
Right? So
You gotta earn it.
Keep in mind, you're going to earn some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I went to Iraq 05, 07. So you're going to sacrifice some time or you're going to sacrifice, you're going to sacrifice something. You're going to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
I think we live in a society now today where it's like people want something for nothing.
Yeah.
People want, what can I get? What can I get? Well, what are you willing to give up? Because you're going to have to give up something to achieve it. So, so I recommend it, but just keep in mind of what you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to sacrifice some time with family, with
Mental
friends,
space, all that.
Yeah, with not living in the same place anymore, and moving a lot. Live a really structured environment. If you don't like structure, it might not be for you, or something you could learn. Yeah, or something you might need to get into and then apply.
That's what most people say. I don't want anybody trying to tell me what to do or yelling in my face, but it's like, little do you know, you need that, especially if you like how you grew up or some of the areas where I grew up. It's like you need that stuff to one, break you down and rebuild you back up. You'll be surprised at what you will learn about yourself inside of the service, man. Like I would have never, it was a culture shock for me coming from Decatur and then just being uprooted and going all the way to Oklahoma. And then with all these people, it was just like, bro, what did I do? But like I say, sometimes I found myself, I would have never on a regular basis has been like, come on, y'all, let's get up, do whatever. But when I was in there, it was just like, it was a clean slate. And it just came up out of me like, okay, it was a leader in there this whole time, but I wasn't in the right environment to kind of bring it out. But that what really pulled it out of me like, okay, I see how this teamwork stuff work. I see how being on time work and just being like, just following directions and rules can help you, one, save your life in the military, but also in the civilian world, because all that stuff kind of transfers. Of course, like depending on certain jobs, everything don't come back with you, but it was just the perfect place to just shape a young adolescent mindset, one, from being immature to knowing like, okay, it's real world stuff going on out here, man, so let's get right. But that I agree with still pushing that message. But what I want to ask you, right, so as far as like when you was in Jamaica and then when Mount Duke said come here, did that kind of like play, cause you said it is kind of like normal in that instance area, but did it play like have a mental strain on you as far as like what's going on, or did you was just already on game knowing, okay, this is for the better, so I'm not really stressed out, or did it kind of play some kind of mental stress for you?
Nah, it didn't, man. It was part of the mission. So I understood the mission. I understood what mission she was on, and you're prepared for it. Yeah, you're prepared for it. You're like, okay, well, when she's ready, I'll be up there with her. It's something you prepare your kids for. You get them ready. Like, hey, I'm coming back for you. I'm just getting this together. Okay, cool. You understood. Yeah. Yeah,
because I can only imagine let that happen to like someone in America, right, who's not used to, like you say, y'all, it's kind of accustomed knowing, okay, if we want to get up out of here, this is a part of that process.
This is part of the process.
A kid here, like, Mom, y'all leaving for how long? Y'all only coming back for a year? They can be damn near distraught. And I can't say, like, knowing y'all growing up, like you were that stern kid when you came here. Like I seen like damn, DeMar, your older brother, he's strict, but you were also a fun person though. Always smiling, always playing.
I'm a
but
goofball, man.
But you weren't taking no shit at the same time. Like, you can tell, like, all right, DeMar, I see where y'all get it from, man. Like you did here goes some flowers early, a good job doing that, holding the house down when you say you had to take care of little bro and little sister and all that. I witnessed it firsthand. Like, okay, bruh's over there handling business. DeMar praise you all the time, man. Exactly. Like, that's big, bro. Only thing I did not like though, y'all terrible towers, man. I was a Falcons fan still today that I doubt, but
it's all good.
I always throw that shit in my face.
That house, the house is straight yellow, black and yellow.
Yeah, man.
Mom, dad, everybody. We're all Pittsburgh fans. We're all Steelers fans.
Yeah, man.
But it's crazy. I didn't know I was doing that. Like when I was helping my mom and take care. I didn't know I was doing that. I was just doing it. It's just something that you just do because you could see the struggle in your parents. My mom was coming home, passing out with the books on her chest and on the couch. She wouldn't even make it to her room. I just have to come downstairs, throw the blanket over her, put a little pillow on her head, and then just, you know what I'm saying? So you see it, so you're like, okay, I got to fill that gap because our father, my stepdad, which is my dad, he raised me, but he wasn't here yet because his paper didn't get approved. So he was still in Jamaica. So it was me, my mom, my sister, and then my little brother now.
Yeah.
So he was stuck in Jamaica because they didn't approve his paperwork. So that's why it was like that. But when you were in Atlanta, it was after I went to the military and they kind of made a move there. So it was a little bit different than when Pittsburgh life was a little bit different than what you kind of witnessed.
Yeah, because you did say y'all was at Pittsburgh first. And then y'all came over.
Yeah, and then
we met at.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, man. Like I say, you were doing a hell of a job, dog. But I'm pretty sure, like, so what you had to say, well, I guess you did. You had to grow up at a very young age.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I think, not to say anything about the kids here, but migrant kids in other countries kind of have to grow up a little bit faster. You have to. I don't know if you ever traveled to other countries and seen kids on the street hustling. 6 years old, 5 years old, 4-year-olds hustling, selling trinkets, selling stuff just to feed the family, just to take care of their great grandma. Because my great grandma, I was left with my great grandma. She was 85 years old, and I was so young. But she used to make a list of things that she wanted at the grocery store. I had to go catch the bus to the markets and buy stuff. There's a point where I didn't even know how to read at the one point. So she used to write it. I had to catch the bus. No, seriously, I had to catch the bus. I go to the store. And then I had to give it the list to the lady.
Like, I don't know what this is, but I need this.
I need this. I don't know what it is, but I need this. You know what I'm saying? At a young age, until I was able to like catch on. Because the school system down here, when I was young, was terrible. It was terrible. So my great grandma taught me. She's the one that kind of, you know what I'm saying, like taught me more than what I learned at school.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's just to know. I gotta tell people sometimes you just never know. Even though to you it may not, because you was living in it, you probably wouldn't have considered it like just the worst of worst. But someone on the state side, like somebody always got it 10 times worse than you, man. Like it's so privileged over here, but hearing stories like this will make you realize, like, man, I could have been that kid over there having to go on the side of the street selling stuff because I'm trying to provide for the family and this and that. Yeah, man.
They got the household in the back. Their mom is sick, grandma's is sick, everybody is sick, and the only person that's not sick in the family is a little 7-year-old or a little 8-year-old, and they got to go out and sell whatever he could find at the house to sell, yams, bananas, whatever. Go to any poor country and you can see it. I think a lot of people go to countries to enjoy the beaches,
the tourism part
and
of
the
it.
tourism side of it. Trust me, man. Go 5 minutes inland, and you can see see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we always heard. Like whether there was a cruise to Jamaica or just going out there, they would always say, like, yeah, y'all are here right now, but not even consider saying going to the hood. But they said once you get in those cars and it's going to the real life, it's just so. It's like when you cross those railroad tracks.
Yes,
it's a total split difference of what you seeing here, and it make you realize, like, damn. These people, it make you also respect, like if you're on a resort, you respect the workers 10 times more because you know for a fact it's probably not just a job to them. Like once they leave that resort, look what they're gonna have to go back to just to bring back whatever they may have made that day to support their family, and they got to deal with us coming over there either drunk, angry as hell because you didn't get this and that. So it also gives you a good sense of respect for them. So, and also it's just people should all just do that regardless, man.
Yeah.
Everybody going through something and we're all human. So give grace to whomever you encounter, right? Yeah. So,
but I understand too. I mean, you save up all your money. You're trying to go have a good time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You only get like 1 week out the year to have a little vacation. You kind of want to know, you already went through your struggle. You kind of want to go to somebody else's country and see their struggle. So I get it. I get it. I understand. But people just have to understand there's real life. People just, if you're having it bad, there's other people that's having it bad as well too. That might have it worse than you are too. So yeah.
Facts, 10 times worse.
I struggled growing up, man. As a kid, I didn't have the latest shoes, and I was wearing church shoes to high school. Like that's how bad it was when I came here, man. Yeah, I was wearing like church shoes. I was that kid that was like I was wearing my church clothes to school and all that. Yeah, man. Like that's how it was. But for me, I was just happy to be here because you got to think of the environment that I came from. When I came here, like they had computers in the class, I had a pool at the school, I had a basketball court.
You didn't care about none of that.
I get to wear whatever clothes I wanted to school. Like, because in Jamaica, you wear uniform.
Yeah.
So all of that I was looking forward to. So none of it bothered me. Like just because somebody was wearing Jordans or Air Force Ones or whatever, the latest, I never cared about none of that, man. I was just happy just to be here, and I was sitting in the front of the class, absorbing everything I possibly can. Yeah, bro,
I can imagine. That's like a blessing for you. It's like, man, y'all seen him worried about all these material stuff, this and that. But bro, if y'all would have seen where I just came from,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, y'all probably wouldn't even be saying shit to me about what I got going on. Yeah,
they're talking back to the teachers. I'm looking like, because in Jamaica you get beatings in school. Yes. I was like, oh, what's going on? Doing what? Yeah, they get beatings. You get whoopings in school. Like seriously, like whoopings all the way through school. So
we only got what they would call it paddlings when I was in private school. They only allowed that in that area. So I had to experience it, but I guarantee that's the norm for y'all. So it was like probably something totally different.
We ain't call it paddling. We call whooping.
Because they used to tell us, I either get hit with a little yardstick, or they had two paddles. It was one, the regular wood paddle, and then one, I don't know why, but it had holes in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it made it a little bit harder.
Stick a little bit, man. Pull off.
They put one with the holes in it and the tape around the handle. It was like, oh man.
Yeah.
But so I can imagine that culture shock, right? But so how did that experience just shape you as a young man growing up, just knowing like where I came from, this is my opportunity here, and how did you just seize it? I know you said you wanted to go to aviation school or stuff like that. So but how did that just shape you as a young man?
It made me appreciate everything. It made me appreciate everything. It made me want to work a little bit harder for everything because I just see what could be, and I see there's a lot of opportunities that people are not taking, and I every now and then I have to go back to that old me of like, man, remember when you didn't have this?
Like even to this day?
Yeah, even to this day, I have to. I have to like wake up and be like, man, remember when you were when you wish you could do this?
Yeah.
I wish you had the ability to go do this, but now you can.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you know? So you kind of have to snap back out of it because sometimes when you achieve certain things, you forget when you didn't have it and you wish you did. And the hard work you had to put in to get it, and then now you get it, now you take it for granted. So every now and then I have to go back. So it kind of just motivated me to like, remember when you didn't have it? Bro, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, humble beginnings kind of set you up for your future, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when aviation, right, what did that come about? Like when did you know, like,
I have no idea.
Really?
No idea.
You just want to just do it?
Yeah. I think when I was flying one time, I just looked inside our cockpit. I just thought it was cool, man. I just thought it was like, wow, that is dope. Like imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine being able to do this.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to travel the world and operating this machine and knowing how to appreciate, this machine and like the uniform, how they look, how they carry themselves, the professionalism of it. And I just love that. I think that's why it kind of drove me to the military too, and the Marines. It's just the uniform, just the way they look.
I can't say that Marines. I'm telling you, uniforms are clean, man.
It's just like it's so clean to me. I whatever draws my attention like that, I'm more drawn to, and I think I love it, man. Every day I imagine myself, I picture myself in a uniform. You know what I'm saying, with my stripes, with my hat, like every I just kind of like, man, I see myself doing that.
So is that a goal to like be a pilot for commercial airline?
Yeah, for commercial airlines. That's the goal.
I can't wait to board one flight and hear that voice.
Yeah.
Like, I know who that is.
Yeah. That's the goal. I made that decision. I said once I got out of the military, that's the route I was going to take. And it took a while for me to stomach the courage. But then I'm like, okay, cool.
So was that process hard? Like, I mean, I know it had its challenges, but just for the average person who may be listening, if they do want to go through the aviation program or just go that route, like, what is the learning curve of that? Learning how to, because flying a plane is, where you flying a plane, and one, you're so high in the sky. So what is the learning curve for that?
I would say right off the top, say you want to go, say you decide you want to fly, you could go to a school and you could rent a plane that day. They have what do you call, kind of like sightseeing. So you could rent a plane for like an hour, and then you go up there with a pilot, with one of the instructors, and he kind of show you like basic stuff, like this is how you fly it and all that stuff. So if you do decide you want to fly, that you could start flying literally right away if you have the money for it. Yeah, it's just expensive. Yeah, it's just really, really, really expensive. But there's nothing you have to go. There's no prerequisites where you have to go study first and all that stuff. You kind of just, there's steps to it. There's different licenses that you have to get, and there's steps to it that you have to go. So you just start off basic in like a C-170, like a 172 or a 152, just like really small planes. And that's kind of like where the platform where you start learning from. Most schools have those. They have like 152, which is like a really small one, and 172, which is a big one, a bigger one. It's like, it has seats in the back, so you could take passengers and stuff. So that one is the first one I actually flew for the first time.
How scared were you your first flight? Well,
I was
your
scared.
first time.
So yeah, right. So the instructor had me like take off a little bit, right? And you pull back on the yoke or whatever, and it took off, but then it kind of like banked left a little bit. And I let go of it. I was like, yo, oh man. I was like, yo, and he took control of it. So it is scary. Like first takeoff was scary. And then once I was going through the school a little bit more, you just got more comfortable. And yeah, you just get, it's like
so
driving.
It's more like like you said, you do got to get like license and stuff like that, but
Yes.
it's more of a hands-on type feel.
Very,
you got to just
very
learn
hands-on.
it by touching this, touching that.
Yes.
Of course, they telling you, but it's not just like you say, let me go in the classroom for hours and
Right.
this is that. It's better like just that hands-on feel.
Yeah. Yes. But there is a lot of classroom. There's a lot of ground school to it too. There's a lot of ground school because you have to learn aerodynamics. You have to learn like meteorology. So you have to learn weather theories and stuff, and you have to learn weight and balance. So you have to know how to balance a plane for flight. So there's a lot of ground school that goes along with it, and the flight. But it's a lot of hands-on as well too. It goes hand in hand. So when I was going to the school in California, we'll do like some ground in the morning, like some ground before we start the class or before we go flying, and then we'll go flying. 30 minutes of ground, or
fun,
or
man.
one day we'll do ground school, and then next day we'll do flying. So yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it just imagine like it's really free. It's really free, and you realize how small and insignificant we actually are when you're up there. Yeah, so when you're flying, you look down and it's just like you see thousands of cars and stuff, and you're like, man, we're really insignificant in this planet.
Yeah.
We're really small. Like,
Yeah,
in our world, we're down here, so we think we're so, what I'm saying, we're so important.
On that same surface, face to face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you're in a plane, you're looking down, you're just like, man, like we really ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're really nothing.
It's like we're what ants are to us. Yeah.
Exactly. Now you go on a plane and you look down, that's exactly what you are. We look like ants. We're just little ants in our own little world.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It seemed fun. Like you say, how as far as the freedom, like I can just when I love flying. There's of course as a passenger, but just knowing there's all that space up there. It's just like it's not a lot of distractions because it's clouds and blue unless you do look down. But it's just once you're in that area, it could be like a peaceful vibe, just a real serenity, and just like some sort of a meditative environment you could be in because it's like, hey, it's just me, the clouds, and this plane. So is it kind of therapeutic for you?
Very therapeutic. I think that's what drew me to it a little bit more. It's very therapeutic. For the sunsets you see up there, the clouds, like when you're above the clouds, how cool it is. It's just you're just looking out, and it's beautiful, man. It's just very, very therapeutic. Yeah, that's definitely
get my pilot
number
license.
one. Number one. Trust me, if you do decide that's route you want to go, you'll find it very, very therapeutic, man. Very.
I can only imagine it one day. Well, I don't know if it's a thing where you shouldn't fly when you're either stressed out or going through stuff. But if you were going up there, all that stuff would probably just worries.
It really
gone.
Yeah, it really is.
You ever had one of those moments like one day is that like one of your getaways sometimes? Like, man, let me just go get up here and get in the sky.
No.
Really?
No.
Is that a bad habit if somebody was to do that?
Maybe. Maybe. But I wouldn't say yes. I wouldn't say it's a bad habit. I think it's if you have the ability to be able to do that and have access to an airplane like that and being able, heck yeah, go for it. I think of course. Like going for a drive.
Yeah.
Going
That's
for
what
a
that's what I
fly.
was trying
Come on,
to
man.
compare
How
it to,
cool is that?
Yeah,
You know?
let me go for a
being able to
fly.
say, hey man, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go to Florida and go grab a coffee and come back. Like people do that, it's pretty cool.
I forgot who said it, but he was a very, very wealthy guy. I don't think he was a pilot, but he had his own plane. He was like, man, one morning I woke up and I was hungry But I didn't want anything here, so I just got me and my lady, and let's go to Italy or something real quick for lunch.
That's big fun.
You're right. He was like, man, let's go to Italy or something, grab this special dish and eat for lunch and come back home, man.
Yeah, like, imagine being able to do that.
Right, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I want to have lunch
about.
somewhere else.
That's what I think about.
Yeah, it's
being
crazy.
able to just have your own plane and you just being able to do that, you know? And it's not as, from what I know, because I'm not there yet, but from what I know, it's not that complicated to get your own plane to be able to go do things, you know? Planes on average, you could find a small plane for maybe 60, 70,000. That's what a Corvette is. People are driving around Corvettes every day.
Facts.
So you could buy a plane if you really wanted to. It's just the maintenance is a little expensive. Hangar fees and fuel.
That's what I heard about. That's one of the most things when people do get, like say somebody do come into some wealth, but they're not like that wealthy yet, but just go out and buy a plane, they will usually say those hangar fees and that maintenance fees make them go broke or hang them up, because it's like you're not flying it every day unless you are, but if not, it's just sitting there accruing those fees and stuff like that. So what are some of those fees like the cost, like estimate, if you know?
I don't know. Right off top, I don't know. It just depends. Fuel changes all the time. But what a lot of people do is to offset that cost, they'll rent the planes to schools.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so you can rent the planes to schools, and then when you want to fly, you fly for free, and then the school is paying you to rent your plane.
That's smart.
So that's what a lot of people do.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Man.
So they'll rent them to planes, or they'll rent them out for like sightseeing for people that want to go sightseeing and things. So those people's planes. So when they're not using it, it's being used, and they're making some money on the side on it. So
that's
offset
smart.
the cost.
Good investment. So what would you say, and we want to get off this next, what would you say would have been your biggest challenge as far as going through not just the aviation program, but as being a pilot in general? Like, what has been your biggest challenge?
I'm still going through the course. So I'm still facing the challenges. I would say finding the funds, finding the money. Granted, for me, being in the military, being a veteran, it covers it. However, for your private license, they don't cover your private license when you go, because they see private license as leisure. Yeah. So they pay for the professional license afterwards. Like you want to go commercial, you want your instruments and things like that, they'll cover that. So when I first started in California, when I first started trying to fly in California, that was the fees, that part. I had to take out a loan for that part. So I just didn't want to come out of pocket. Anytime I have to come out of pocket is a challenge for me, man. I don't want to spend no money.
They say the smartest people is using others people's money.
Yeah, but it's hard to use for a license like that. So I would say that's been the challenge, trying to figure out how I'm gonna balance the education side with the money. You see what I'm saying? With the funds. So even right now, I'm going to Liberty University. I'm doing a professional pilot degree for bachelor's degree program. So there's a school here that's an affiliate with Liberty, but Liberty's in Virginia. The military pulled funding from that school. So now I might have to go to Virginia for a year or two to finish the actual flight portion for my commercial. So that's.
Well, I guess a year ain't too bad, huh? But like I say, this that cash on this and that, I can only imagine. Like you say, that shit is that expensive. It's like, man, when you see.
Oh, it's really expensive. It's really expensive. I could only imagine. Yeah, going through a whole entire. Say you go from your private all the way to commercial. You're in it for about 100 plus, 120, 150 plus. Yeah, with everything, with your
shit, man.
Yeah, private, instrument, commercial, multi-engine, CFI. Yeah, you're up.
Now, all of us, what you just named, those are all just
all licensed. Yeah, those are all licensed. You have to get.
Oh, so you have to get every last one of those to.
You don't have to get your CFI, which is Certified Flight Instructor. But people get it to start making money.
Yeah, that's
so they can start working for schools and instructing, and they can start making money.
You plan on going down that route too? You want to be an instructor?
Maybe, because you learn a lot. We'll see. I haven't decided. I want to just get through.
Yeah, so baby steps. Let me get.
Yeah, baby steps. That's the way you accomplish things, man. You have a plan, you set steps, and then you just accomplish each step on the road, and you don't try to like think too far ahead. Yeah, you know where you want to go, but you got to have those plans.
Plan it out.
You got to have to plan it out. So yeah,
that's dope, man.
Yeah, that's the hard part is trying to find good schools, finding a good school, because some schools rip you off, and then because it's a lot of money, and then find a good school and actually just stick into
like
it.
rip you off as far as the education they're providing, or it's like some folks you end up paying them and not able to get your money back or something like that.
Yeah, so if you're in the school, you have instructors that just are instructing just to make the money. They're not instructing you to teach you anything. So the more you fly, the more money they make. So because you're paying them an hour. Say you're flying for 2 hours, you're paying them for that 2 hours, and then the school is charging for 2 hours. They're making that money. So a lot of instructors they don't really care about
the passion and stuff,
whether or not you pass or
yeah.
not. As long as you're flying, they're making money. So you be flying for 2 hours. Okay, cool. They write your 2 hours in your logbook. They're getting paid for those times. So you have a lot of instructors that are just trying to push through just to get their time.
Numbers game.
Because they require like 1,500 hours to get to the commercial side or 1,000 hours to get to the commercial side. So they're trying to get their hours up. Yeah, because your hours go into their hours and they're trying to get their hours up. And you need 1,500 hours of flight time to get to the airlines.
Man, that's trash. I just wish more people would be more considerate. One, it was like how you telling your story, where sometimes having to pay for this stuff, this shit is tough. But for them, they don't even think about it. Like I say, all they want to know is let's get these bodies in this program so I can worry about myself and myself only versus like that money gonna come. The better instructor you are, I can guarantee the more you're gonna be recommended, and then boom, there you go. All what you sitting here trying to hustle for is gonna come to you anyways. But at the same time, pour into these young students and really care about one, their safety in that sky. Because if you sitting here kind of BSing them on a training just because you're a number, you can end up costing somebody their life. You may skip out on some kind of step just because it's like I'm not fully here for it and this and that. So I think I'm not in that field, but they should all be a little bit more cognizant of, let me put this student's priority first before my paycheck. Because you already there in a position. So what else are you asking for? Like I said, besides those hours, but it's just the world we live
You're
in,
asking
man.
for a lot, man.
Yeah.
You're asking for integrity, honesty, and, you know what I mean? Sympathy. And that's a lot you're asking from people today, man. Yeah,
man.
Some people don't care about that, bro.
But again,
Some
it's
people care about
all
self.
good. But one, for you, still congratulations for that. Like, it sounds very tedious and it's a long process.
It's a long process. It's a long process.
So with that, right? Well, outside of that, how out of all this you had going on, when did it start, and how did bodybuilding come into this picture?
Okay, so bodybuilding came into play because one, we was working out a lot when we was in the military, so it was in the gym. We didn't really have anything to do once we got off work. Either going to the gym or you're going back to the barracks and drink.
Yep.
I decided I didn't want to drink, so I wanted to go work out. So I just going to the gym a lot, and then my physique just started changing like crazy. And I thought I was swole. I'm like, back then I thought I was swole. So I was like, man, I used to walk around all cocky like I was swole. And then I ran into this guy in Albany, and he managed the gym on base. And he said he was a bodybuilder, and he looked good. He saw me training, and he's like, man, you ever thought about bodybuilding? And I was like, no, I don't know what that is. I'm just training because I love to train.
Yeah.
I was reading the magazines, yes, but I wasn't really looking at the magazines for their physique or how they compete. Or I was just looking at it like, oh man, it look good. What are they eating? Okay, cool. I need to eat some avocados. So, but I met this dude in the gym, and he managed the gym, and he's a bodybuilder. And that's kind of like how I got into it. I asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, I could show you how to compete. There's a show in Atlanta. If you want to do it, you could do it. And I said, okay, cool, show me. And he showed me, brought me into the studio, showed me some posing. And he's like, you could compete like in a few weeks. That's how good you look. I was like, what? I was like, okay, cool. And that's how I did it. I think I was preparing for like 3 weeks.
Word.
It's 3 weeks. I posed for 3 weeks. And I was in Albany. So Albany, 2.5 hour drive in Atlanta. The show was in a few weeks. I said, okay. He showed me the calendar. I saw the show. I saw how to register for it. I registered for it. And literally 3 weeks came up here and did a show and won. Won the whole show. I won.
So
it was,
was that the
show.
one I was at?
Yeah, it was a show you were at.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Show you was at. I came up here. My mom had to shave me at like 4 in the morning. Yeah, my mom had to shave me. My mom asked my mom. I was like, hey, mom, I'm doing a bodybuilding show. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm doing a bodybuilding show. She's like, she didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I was like, but you got to shave me and you got to tan me. My mom got up, man, 4 in the morning. She shaved the spots I couldn't catch. And then she put on the gloves and she put on the. Oh, my bad.
You good.
And then she put the tan on my body. It was the one you wipe on, and then yeah, man, I did the show.
And that show was tough. From my point of view, right? I remember DeMar. I mean, I think it was like either the night before or 2 days. He was like, "Yeah, my brother doing this show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you needed the help or not." But he like, "You want to come? You know, you be backstage and this and that." So I'm like, I ain't had nothing else to do. I'm like, "Shit, let's go." So I remember walking up in there, and we had went backstage with you, and he was like, "So yeah, we gotta help him put this oil on." I don't know, whatever it was. I was like,
"It was the oil." It was.
I was like, "We gotta do what?" Because back then I'm like, "I ain't doing this shit." What the fuck? But it's just like I say now, it opened my eyes to just seeing like where it really takes a village to help somebody get through what they going through, dude. It's like and then shout out to your mom, bro.
Yeah, it does.
When I tell you she's a trooper for her kids.
Bro. Yeah, she is.
When you was on that stage.
100%. 100%. She's the biggest fan, boy.
I was
biggest
like, there
fan.
you go, mom.
Yeah, biggest fan, man.
Yeah, and then to see that you actually won it, I was like, man,
it's crazy.
This is crazy, dude.
Crazy.
And then just being able to, I was exposed to a whole different world
It's its own world, yeah.
I'm like, man, these dudes walking in here, cock diesel, can probably put me in the head. I can pop my head with a muscle. And then that was my first time seeing female bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Now that was the most shocking part. I'm like, my first thought was, why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
Everything was just this and that, but just now that I know females who actually are into it, now just seeing their reason why and this and that, it's like I got a full understanding of it's just bigger than what I thought back then as a young kid.
Exactly.
But it was just one from start to finish, a beautiful moment to see bro going into this situation here.
Yeah.
This is the prep for it.
Yeah.
Seen him on stage and then boom, he won. So like, all right, this shit is cool, man. This is cool, dude.
I was like, I told y'all. Yeah.
It was cool,
yeah, man.
So
it fits me. I think when I started doing it, and then after that first show, when I was like, man, I'm actually good at this, And then a few weeks later, I came back, won another show. I was like, man, won another show like a few months later, and I was like, I could go pro. And within like 2 years, I was a pro. I was an IFBB pro.
So how was that like the journey to getting pro, right? The ins and outs of one, like what does it look like for, let's say on a typical training day,
right?
And once you wake up from start to finish, what does it take for one either like get into shape for that, get into the physique to focus on, hey, I want to probably cut up my abs here, this and that. So what does that process look like for a bodybuilder to just get in peak shape to go perform on those stages?
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of discipline. I think it starts at discipline. Once you see a bodybuilder, you see discipline. You see anybody in the gym working out, it takes discipline. Like somebody that's serious about it. It takes a lot of preparation as far as meals. Everything has to be on point. You got to eat your meals at a certain time. You got to take your supplements. You got to take supplements at a certain time. You got to drink a certain amount of water. You got to, like, everything. Your training has to be specific to your muscle group, whatever you're trying to grow at that specific time, whatever you're lacking. Say if I'm lacking shoulders, say I'm lacking front delts, I got to work on more front delts. And now I got to switch my whole workout routine and focus on front delts so my front delts catch up. If I need more biceps, I got to work on my bis until my bis catch up to where it needs to be to balance out my triceps. Or if my triceps is lacking, I got to work on my tricep. It's an art. It's really an art, man.
Yeah.
It's an art with your physique, but you don't see the results right away. You see the results later on. So you have to front load everything. So everything's front loaded. The food you're eating, you don't see what it's doing, but you know it's working. You measure, check your weight every morning, check your weight every morning, check your measurements all the time to make sure your legs are actually growing how it needs to be, your chest is growing how it needs to grow. But everything has to be on point. I used to walk around with my bag with my food. When I was active, I was at the range. I was at the rifle range with all my meals with me on the rifle range. I have a picture of it at the rifle range, passed out because I'm so freaking tired from training. Because think about it, we had to do our PT. Then I had to go train after that. 2 hours after that, I had to go back to the gym later on in the evening. So it took a lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of like willpower, a lot of this is what I want to do. And
So like he said, sometimes say if your delts are lacking or your triceps or biceps, is there a point to where like once you're working on one, are the others like staying either stagnant or not failing, but like they could go down or not just be catching up, or is like you really gotta you focus on that one part of your body, but also still in between you gotta still focus on everything else at the same time, or it's like you just go in that one time. This whole week or month, it's just this, and then that grows, and it's like okay, now it's just this, and that grows, or it's
I see what you're asking. No, so no, you wouldn't just focus on that for that specific month. You just switch more focus to it. So you'd be like, okay, it needs to be bigger, so I need to lift a little bit more for that muscle group, but you're still focusing on everything.
oh
Yeah,
I
so
got
you
I
don't
got
just
you.
switch focus on it completely and then forget everything else. No, you can't do that. Then everything you'll be behind.
Yeah,
So you
makes
got
sense,
yeah,
makes
you
sense.
just switch focus to it. You just put more attention to it. I should say. You
I
just
got
put more
you.
attention.
So
to
whatever
it.
your mindset is, like I said, my legs. Most of my emphasis for this day or whatever is on that. But still, even though whatever you're doing, I guarantee it's still probably working out something else. Cause all this stuff works together. So I understand. I get it. I get it now. 'Cause
So
I
you got
remember-
secondary muscles that come into play, but a lot when you work out, some muscles take over. So even when you're doing chest, you might have a lot of front delts that come in. So this might grow along with your chest, but that wasn't your intention. So now you're doing front delts on shoulder day. So now you're working it twice. So that's kind of like how muscles kind of get imbalanced when you're starting to work certain muscle groups more than normal. You know, if you're doing chest, it's a pressing movement, so you're using triceps at the same time too. So your tricep might grow along with your chest. And then you have triceps and bi days. So now you're working triceps technically twice.
Shit, man. I feel like you can work either. I don't even imagine what leg they look like. Walking
leg
out with
day's
noodle
crazy.
legs all
Yeah,
the
exactly.
time, man.
Leg days
You ever
is
had those
crazy.
moments like, or does it kind of go away? Was it always on leg day? They kind of just like, oh man.
Nah, leg days is my favorite, man. I love it. I love it.
Why
I love
why is
heavy
that your favorite part?
squats. When I used to watch Ronnie Coleman, he's like, the greatest bodybuilder of all time. When I used to watch Ronnie Coleman, I just remember the video of him just squatting like 800 pounds. And it was just crazy. I was like, man, that's insane. It's something that stuck in my head, and I just love training leg. I love squatting heavy. Like I love putting 4 or 5 plates on a bar and just squatting, bro.
My back hurt thinking about that.
Yeah. When you finish, it's just like it's like a euphoric feeling once you re-rack the weight.
Yeah.
Just like, ooh, it's just like the feeling is crazy.
Yeah.
That euphoric feeling afterwards.
If I ever go to the gym, when I do, the feeling that I love about it is, I remember one time you had me on you sent me, I can't remember what program it was, and I think it was yours. I think wasn't
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
So I was doing that, but when I was actually doing it. Now, when you first go to the gym, after you haven't been there for a while, those muscles get ripped, this and that, but it may be sore. But that best feeling for me, once they're sore, going back and lifting more, it's like, man, this shit feels so good. To I guess it's what, like re-ripping the muscles or whatnot, turning back now.
That feels better?
That feels, so it was like a massage kind of almost to me. I don't know. It didn't feel painful after that first time I did it, but it felt great, man.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't relate to that, but yeah, no, I never thought about it. I never thought of that as far as like afterwards, like going back and training after. No, the worst though is like when you haven't trained for a while and then you go to the gym that next day. That's the painful part.
Word.
Like say you haven't trained for like 2 weeks and then you do legs. Oh man, and you can't walk afterwards and that.
Because I've seen some of what you be doing in the gym,
you can't sit
man.
down. Yeah, it's hard.
It's crazy. And I also heard, it has to, I think it was a study, so it may be true. So this lady was like, there were, I guess I said like 5 bodybuilders, right? Okay. And they had their usual regimen of going to the gym, this and that, but they were trying to see what a mindset thing would do. So instead of going to the gym actively, they stayed at home wherever. But like say if you ate at 1 p.m., you worked out at 2, whatever. They did all of that, but just in their mind. So they used to say, they used to just, of course they did eat, but as far as they're doing actual weights, they'll just think about, I'm going through these reps, or I'm doing this much weight. And she was like, after those 2 weeks, they actually grew in body mass just by thinking about what they were doing actively in the gym. Do you think there's probably some truth to that? Or they said it was an actual study and
really?
Play it. Yeah, like they just, instead of going to the gym, they was just thinking about their whole workout,
really?
Like routine through rep. And by just thinking about it, their body actually is maintained their mass and also grew some body mass.
That's crazy.
I mean, it may be true.
I mean, I'm not saying it's crazy as far as like it's crazy. I'm just saying That's crazy if it's true.
Yeah, like, it just
but there
shows
is
how powerful the mind
something to
is.
say where when you're working out, it's not just moving the weight. You do have to connect mind and muscle. So you do have to focus. That's why I say when you focus, I'm not just saying focus on just the training. I'm talking about focus on the muscle. Like if you're working quads, your focus is quads. It's not just I need to finish lifting this weight. I need to hurry up, squat, and put it back. No, you have to literally connect your mind and your muscles together. And that's how you're going to grow way faster. So, yeah, there is something to say with that. Combined with training, though, I don't know about just sitting on the couch and flipping through Netflix, but combined with training, it's very effective. Very effective. Yeah, it's the only way to do it. I mean, if you're not thinking of the contractions that your muscles are having when you're training, you're not going to grow, man. You're not going to grow. You can't be distracted when you're training.
I never thought about it like that.
You have to be. Yeah, it's the only way to grow. You have to connect your mind and your muscles together. You're going to move the weight more efficiently. You're going to lift more. You're going to get more focused. And you're going to get more out of your training. Yeah.
So how much do you think, as far as like a percentage wise, right? One, just getting in shape, period, but more so bodybuilding, like percentage of mentality and mental versus the actual working? Or is like, I think it's 50-50, or it's like it's more mental than the actual physical work?
It's mental because you only train an hour a day. What are you doing for the rest of the time?
Right.
It's all still preparing. It's still all bodybuilding. Because you got to go eat after. You got to eat another 2 hours after that. You got to eat another 2 hours after that. You got to drink your water. So everything after that is all mental. It's all the discipline that you have to do to maintain what you just worked on for an hour. So only what's an hour out of, what percentage is that? I'm not even sure. But whatever percentage an hour is out of 8 hours. So you just do average an 8 hour a day or whatever, or 12 hour a day, but you only use an hour to train. That's a very small portion of your time.
Facts.
The rest of the time is bodybuilding too. It's not just bodybuilding. It's not just in the gym or fitness. Period. It's not just in the gym. It's discipline after. It's the discipline you have afterwards. Yeah. So it's very mental. Very mental.
It's
very mental. For the days that you want to go, because you got to drag yourself there.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for years. I mean, and I'm a professional, and I still got to drag myself
It's still
there.
hard to get yourself to go up to the gym.
Still got to drag yourself there. You still got to drag yourself there. So, and then when you get there, you still got to mentally push yourself through the workouts or push yourself through training that you don't want to do.
Does it get easier though, or
No,
is it? Oh,
never.
Damn.
Sorry to disappoint you, but it don't get easier. The routine, it becomes a routine, but it doesn't get easier. If you want to make it easier, you have to make it a part of your life, a part of your daily routine. Then it becomes easier. But as far as the training and the diet and stuff, that doesn't get easier. It just becomes a routine. It just becomes a part of your life.
Yeah.
And it's just something you wake up and do,
So if you had to name, right, your, I give you three. Your top three bodybuilders are all, well, top three, I probably know who they probably are. Slick.
That's
but
fine.
your
You
top
can put
three,
them up. You can put the
who would
pictures
you be
up.
your top three bodybuilders of all time?
All time, number one, Ronnie Coleman. For sure. Ronnie Coleman by far. 8-time Mr. Olympia. He's an absolute menace. Second.
I wonder if he gonna name who I'm thinking about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Second, Phil Heath.
Okay, that ain't him.
Phil Heath, crazy. Phil Heath was crazy. He was like his physique was like, man, it was something to see. 3, this one is going to be hard. This one is going to be hard. 3. Okay, I put my boy out there. Sean Roden.
Okay.
Sean Roden, he's Jamaican too. He's like one of my, he was a friend of mine. He was a good friend of mine. He passed away
Sorry to hear that.
a few years ago, but it's cool. But he was a beast too. He was a legend too. But there's so many good bodybuilders.
Throw two more. I want to see if he gonna name who I'm thinking about.
More?
He's the guy I'm thinking about. I don't know how old he is, but when I was exposed to bodybuilding through you, like starting seeing stuff,
Okay.
he kept popping up everywhere. But I want to see if he gonna
Probably.
name.
Let me see. I don't know. Kai Green.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's who
Kai
it is.
Green. Yeah. Kai Green.
Now
yeah.
I seen y'all like
For sure.
God damn,
Yeah.
bro. He looked like to me like that.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
man. What's that
Crazy.
character off of Mortal Kombat? The guy who had the same little one
Oh,
pony
yeah,
in the
yeah,
back.
I forgot it.
He
Yeah, I
did all the arms.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, bro, his body is
yeah.
insane.
Yeah,
dude.
Kai Green is insane. I remember when I first saw him, I was in an Arnold Classic. I was just a spectator. they had the Marines come in. Well, my boy, he was a Marine, and then he invited me to come to the show to do the flag ceremony for the opening ceremony. And I saw Kai Green in the back, bro, and like his lower back was so is thick,
It's crazy, bro.
But you could grab his this lower part of your back, it literally protrudes out, and then you could like literally, like I'm like, man, I didn't know your physique.
'Cause I can bet he probably looked totally
get
different
that
in
way.
person than like what we
Insane.
would see on
Insane.
TV or whatnot. 'Cause I was,
Insane. I saw him backstage in person, and that was the first time I actually saw like real bodybuilders back in person. And I was just I remember telling Jay Cutler, he was an Olympia champion too, Jay Cutler. I remember telling Jay Cutler back then, because I saw him backstage. I was like, hey, I'm going to nationals. I'm going to compete in my first nationals. He's like, good luck, good luck. I mean, shit. 2 Olympias now. I've been to 2 Olympias now, so I kind of stuck with it. But Kai Green is insane. Yeah, it was a good one. You said one more. That was 4. Let me see. Of all times, I don't want to be
or
cliche
just your
and say-
favorite in general.
Yeah. Well, I'm naming my favorites that I think. I'll just say Dexter Jackson. No. I take that back. Sean Clarita.
Okay.
He's
Why
my
so?
boy. Sean Clarita is my boy. He's a friend of mine. He's a 212 bodybuilding champion. He's only like 5. My mistake. I don't know if you see this, but I think he's like 5'3", maybe. Damn. Insane. He's insane. He packs on. I think he get on stage maybe like 180, maybe at the most 180 pounds. But he's killing them. He's a beast. He's a beast, man. Sean Clarita is they call him a giant killer.
A giant killer?
Yeah, I did nationals with him. The first nationals I did with him, and I saw him, and I was like, man. I asked him, I was like, what weight class you in? He said bantamweight. I said, oh, I'm not in that class. I was like, oh, I'm not in that
thank
class.
God.
Oh my God, thank God. I saw back then that he was like, that he was gonna be something crazy. And he won like 2 Olympias now.
This is crazy what the body can transform into once you put, like you say, you put your mind to it, and discipline and dedication, man.
Yeah.
So would you put me anywhere up there somewhere, Arnold?
Arnold wasn't my favorite. Arnold wasn't my favorite.
Was he somebody if you want to, you probably didn't even look up to him as far
I mean, of course, Arnold was great. He was it was amazing. But as far as, I think I admire physique that I think I could achieve.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense, though.
Yeah, I can't achieve Arnold's physique because he's very unique. Yeah, he's a legend, of course. He's one of the greatest of all times. But his physique wasn't my. There's a French bodybuilder that I liked. He's a black guy. I can't remember his name right now. And he was competing with Arnold, and he was a menace. I think he looked better than Arnold, in my opinion.
So I guess you could be biased because you're in that world. Like, so what when you say he looked better than Arnold, right? What does, because to me, from just watching, everybody's just swole as hell on there, ripped up, cut this and that.
Yes.
So what is a good physique for a bodybuilder? Like what does that look like to the naked eye of somebody like me just on
so what? Yeah, for somebody that don't really know what's going on, it's size. So the size of the muscles that you grow, the conditioning. So how conditioned is your muscles? How well is the skin thin over the muscle? So which means you don't have any fat under that layer of skin, and it's just skin on top of your muscles. Right. So so that's size, definition, and symmetry. So symmetry is your shoulders not too wider than your legs. If your quads is wide, you know what I'm saying? Like everything balances where it doesn't look off balance. Have you ever seen some people where like, man, you don't even work legs.
Yeah.
But your upper body look crazy.
Big upper body skin.
There you go. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, your arms are small, but you got chest is big, but you don't have no biceps. Or they have biceps and don't have no shoulders because they don't work their shoulders that much, so you can see it's off balance. So that's what they look for. They look for size, definition, symmetry, and size, conditioning, symmetry, and balance. Just total balance.
So that's like when a bodybuilder goes into their workouts, that I guess that's their like the apex of the focus. Like I want to work on, because my size, symmetry, and then the balance. So then within that comes the, okay, like I say, my biceps or triceps are too small, so that's my size there. Then you say, okay, my legs or this leg maybe. Has that ever happened though? Like one leg is bigger than the other, or does it all? If you
that can happen. It just depends.
So how do you offset it to get it back right, or just something like this is my body type?
Do more reps on one leg instead of doing 10 overhead. Do 12 overhead. Do 10 on this one to make sure it balances. Seriously.
It's a whole world.
Yeah.
And I heard you.
I never had
earlier,
to face that, but I'm sure somebody out there has to.
I can only imagine. I know that's how I feel. So even though I'm not bodybuilding, but when I go to the gym, I feel my right arm is my dominant arm, but it's bigger than my left. So I guess I don't use it as much. But and I heard you explain it earlier to E. Like when people do get the tanning and stuff like that, what is the purpose of that? Explain to the people about like what does that help and what is it meant for?
Okay, so the tanning is for when you go on stage, you get washed out from all the lights and the bright lights because you have the floodlights on the stage, you have the stage lights and stuff. They weren't built for bodybuilding, right? They're just built to showcase the audience, whoever's on stage. So you need a darker pigment, darker color, and to compensate for the light washing your skin color out. So we use dark, we use tan, and the oil kind of shows a definition. Kind of goes, when the light reflects, it reflects on the in between the cracks of your muscles and things like that. So it shows the definition.
Yeah, I never knew that part.
Yeah,
I just
that's
always thought like maybe it's just everybody just needs to look alike so they can see this and that. But now there's more layers and depth into all this stuff that's beyond the average eye. So that's a good fact to know, right?
Yep.
So what I do want to ask you, right? So say if what I want to call him, I always use Johnny. Say if young Darius or something, right? Darius or Ashley, they want to get into both of these paths, bodybuilding and or like wanting to pursue aviation or being a pilot, right?
Okay.
If you can, like, speak to them, and what would you tell them to do, or how would you guide them to get on either one of those paths, and like what does it take to succeed in those areas, like whether where you're at now or like where where you're going, like, so what does that mindset look like, and what does it take for them to get into those paths? And then talking to them right to that camera right there, so you can give them
talk to the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say if you want to do anything in life, as far as like whatever goals you want to be going to the aviation industry, or you want to pursue bodybuilding or fitness in general, it just takes a level of discipline and a level of, you got to turn your want into a need. So a lot of people want things, but they don't necessarily need it. So you have to turn that want into a need. So you have to figure out how I'm going to turn that want into, I need to do this. I need to get this done. I need to wake up. I need to get this meal in. I need to eat this second meal. I need to eat this fifth meal. I need to eat this sixth meal. I need to not eat this candy, things like that. Or I need to get up and study. I need to put the work in to get the schoolwork done, to get to where I need to be, because where you're trying to get to. So yeah, that's what I would say. I would say you got to turn your want into a need. Yeah,
and that, like I said, I think that's a lot of that is mindset, right? Like I talk about it a lot. If your mind is not in
everything
the right,
is mindset. Yeah, this whole studio is mindset.
Yeah.
So what we're sitting in right now is what your vision of what you had in your head, and we're sitting in it.
Facts.
That's what it is.
That's a fact, man.
That's what it is. So everything is mindset. So you got to have the vision of where you see yourself, or what you want, and you just got to really just apply it. It takes action.
It's just action. How you working out all these other muscles, you can't forget about this one up here. No. I guess, like, not even guess. Without that, how are you gonna accomplish anything else? Especially if you're going through some trials, tribulations, depression, anxiety, you got to focus on over here. If you got to go to counseling and go to therapy or this and that, like, take care of your mind. I think everything else is gonna follow behind that. So. But that was some good insight, man. So before we get up out of here, right, do you got any like announcements, anything you got coming up, or anything you want to just tell the people to look out for?
Well, yeah. So I want to push. I want to do not just bodybuilding clients. I want to take on more lifestyle clients. So I'm working on trying to get some things together where, like you said, we could focus on the mind and building the mind and things. I want to create some programs where that could help even veterans transition. I think that's one of the things I want to work on too. I want to work on a program where it helps veterans transition from just from going through the military and then coming back into civilian life. Things that I've learned that would help would have been better. And also fitness. I do personal training, so I want to do more personal training here in Atlanta. And I got my site. Sorry, I got my site being built. My site is finished, but I want to push more content out to where I have more clientele there. But I can't reach a lot of people, so my focus is gonna be online.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna push more online fitness.
Okay, no, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
And also, it's I was in it with the VA. We it was I think it's called like a whole health program, like wellness and body, like holistic thoughts of how to take care of your body. As veterans, when you come out of the military, sometimes it's hard to adjust back into either what you were used to or now to this
Some
new
people blow
world.
up.
You say what?
Some people blow up.
Nah, that's a fact.
That's a fact, right? They don't have to get up and run 4 or 5 miles in the morning every single day.
So I remember
within
when
a
I
year,
got
they
up,
look like, So I think what I want to do is I'm working on creating a fitness program where I could help transitioning service members stay in shape, and also don't lose that discipline that we developed.
That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I was getting out, one of the main things we kept saying, like, man, we ran so much, I am never
doing it
running again. But even though I now have like those physical limitations to where I really can't run like how I used to, but I wish I still would have just kept that regimen going. I think we was working out every single day to working out as a person once a week, once a month type thing. So I just wish I still could have kept that. But to say like the VA looking for programs like that on our whole health call, at the end of every call they were saying like we need instructors for like a yoga program, or we need new programs. So they are actively now looking for new coaches and people to start these programs. So definitely look into it, man. They're open to doing it. They tell us every time after that. Well, the program that I was in now, it was a 6-week program, but it's done now. But they always say like, if y'all know anybody who like wants to start this or this and that, they're looking for more programs at the Atlanta VA to get stuff going, man. For real.
That's cool. That's good.
So it's happening to them, man.
Yeah. See, it's good.
Hey, man. So man. But once again, dog, I say it was a blessing having you here, dog. So
I appreciate it, man. It's a
a
blessing to be here, man.
A real long time coming. So got a lot of history. But hopefully next we can get DeMar.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it, man.
Doing your thing, and I'm happy to be here, man. Anytime.
Appreciate it, man.
But yeah, you gotta get my brother here. You gotta get DeMar here.
Yeah, man.
He's a legend.
Get DeMar here, dog.
He's a beast.
Boy, hitting the Olympics and all that stuff, man.
He's a beast.
But
He's a beast.
Yeah, dog. So it's good to see like the fact that my usual guest, we don't have any like past rapport,
right?
But knowing like I seen kind of where you came from.
So
you seen where we was at doing the shit.
Exactly.
So it's just beautiful to see it. Yeah, man. It's a lot of girls, man. Here goes some more flowers to you, bro, for everything you doing, dog.
Appreciate it.
But once again, man, tell them where they can find you on social media too. If they want to reach out.
I think the best way to reach me is Instagram.
Okay.
IVB Pro _ Damion Ricketts. If you want to email me, it's DamionRickettsCoaching@gmail.com. That's my coaching email. If you're looking for fitness advice, need a trainer, you need online training, that's the best way to reach me. But IVB Pro _ Damion Ricketts. My Facebook I don't really use too much, but it's the same. IVB Pro Damion Ricketts.
Yeah, man, y'all better get my guy too. Man, he got the jacket stuff on, but bro, when we
I'm incognito today.
Man, don't
keep
get
the jacket on. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little shy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't display my muscles on stage. I get paid to show this, man. So
hey, man,
he didn't bring the check out, so keep the jacket on.
Maybe next time, dog. But again, man, it was a blessing. So if everybody watching, make sure y'all tune in to the Inherited Podcast on YouTube. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, and notification bell. And make sure you download this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star review and type up a good review as well. Those matter so much. Follow me on Instagram at SirGatesBC. That's SirGatesBC. Also, the podcast page, NHERITD Podcast, and hear the podcast. And once again, another dope episode. Until next time, man. We'll see y'all.